Hey everybody, so I'm going to show you in this lesson how to take your tinfoil picture, which probably looks, something kind of similar to this, and we're going to change it drastically with different colors and end up with something like this. So I will tell you that this is a two-process lesson. One, you'll see how the flames were added with a double exposure, and we're not going to quite get to that point yet. What we're going to worry about today is look at this example and see how there's shadows down here and purple highlights and the background's different. Let's compare that to the original one, which was very monotone. So our goal with this lesson is we are going to take a monotone photo and highlight sections of it to make it much more pronounced and creative with different colors. So let's get started. The first thing I want you to do is in Photoshop, at this point, we probably don't even need, well, if you want your history window open, remember, if you make a mistake, sometimes it's good to have your history window open. And if you can't see it, go to Window and History, and that will help you if you make a mistake. Let me readjust my window here just a little bit to make it smaller. How we're going to do this is we are going to use our lasso tool. Remember, with your lasso tool, your feathering is very important. I'm going to use the lasso tool to select different areas. One of the areas I might want to select is you're going to look at your picture and figure out where are there highlights that I want to show off. So if you see, I'm going to switch my feather to a 0 just so you can see the difference. The first thing I want to maybe adjust is this highlight section here. So I will select it with my feathering tool. And then I'm going to use two things. I'm either going to do my levels, which is Control L, and you can see how you can adjust it to make it darker or lighter. However, the one I really like is Hue and Saturation, which is Control U, and you'll see how if I change the hue, I get a much different color, some of which are terrible, but some of which are cool. I can change my lightness as well. Sometimes that's helpful. I can also change my level of saturation. This is kind of cool because you can change your tinfoil back to be completely black and white, which I did several times. However, I'm going to hide my dotted line by pressing Control H, or I'm just going to go ahead and say, okay. Can you see how sharp this looks? That's not good. So please pay attention to your feather, your feathering pixel. I would probably, this is a very large image, so I would probably start at like a 20 or a 40 to do this. So make sure that you're using the lasso appropriately. I'm going to redo that, and this time I'm going to try a 20. I'm going to carefully, I'm going to carefully select the image I want with my lasso tool. I'm going to go back to Hue and Saturation, which is Control U. And now when I'm hiding my line, you'll see it's a much more natural look. So 20 was better to adjust this at. Another trick you might want to know is for the background. Sometimes it's nice to do a very subtle fade. So for that, we're going to go to probably, if I crank this up to 200 on my feathering tool, and then I select my background. One thing that comes in handy is to darken your background. So if I hit Control U for Hue and Saturation, and I darken this, Control H, can you see how it's a very gradual transition, and it looks quite good? I might actually go larger to 400 because I want even more of a transition or a fade from this navy blue. So again, I'm on a 400 feather, and Control U for Hue and Saturation, and I'm going to darken this up, and that does a super nice fade. So it goes from black to navy blue. So this takes a while, but your image should look pretty different when you are finished with it. Again, I'll show you. This is where I went with mine. I completely changed the eye hole color, the background, different shapes and shadows to really help the cheekbones and the eyes to come up on this. So your goal is to make your picture look completely different. Next lesson, we'll get into the flames. Thank you very much.